It's Jim with Compliance Professionals. Today I'm going to talk about the number one reason why people get hurt. It's called slips, trips, and falls. You know, it's that momentary lapse of attention when we're walking along, not bothering anybody, and all of a sudden, pow! We're down on our behinds and our head has hit the concrete and it hurts really, really bad. Let me give you some quick numbers here. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, slips, trips, and falls are the number one reason for industrial injuries in the United States. 15% of all accidental deaths per year are caused by slipping, tripping, and falling. And about 25% of all reported injury claims come from the same thing. Listen to this number. More than 95 million lost work days per year, it's 95 million, come from slips and trips occurring due to the loss of traction between your shoe and whatever it is you happen to be walking on. 95 million lost work days per year. 65% is what that is. Of all work days are lost in general because of slipping, tripping, and falling. Okay, enough with the numbers. Let's talk about slips. The reason slips happen is because when the sole of your shoe loses contact with the surface it's on, it slips and moves forward, sideways, backwards, whatever direction it is that you happen to be going. It slips out from underneath you, and then you can damage your foot, your ankle, your knee, your hip. If you fall down, you can hit your shoulder, you can break hips, all kinds of bad things can happen. Breaks, dislocations. Anyway, you're down on the ground and you're hurting because of something that just happened to you. So what can you slip on? You know, you can slip on just about anything that there is out there. I've written down a few things right here. Number one, if you're hurrying too fast, running across the work area, something like that, not watching where you're going, you're looking out further, and you say, well, I got to go over there, so you're weaving around, and all of a sudden you slip on something. Let's name a few things. Here's some things I put down, depending on where you are and what you're doing. Water, food, all types of oils and greases that there are on the face of the earth, sawdust, soap, debris, things that people spill over, throw onto the oil to soak it up. Even though oil dry is there, that doesn't mean you should traipse through it. Don't walk on that. It's slippery. It can be anything from sand to gravel, any type of thing that might be on the floor that's going to cause your shoe to lose traction. So, it happens in inclement weather also. Snow, ice, water, and everything in between, sleet, I don't care, happens to be from water to something freezing. You can slip on that, and each of us has. And sometime during our lifetime, we can slip. So, don't walk too fast through the workplace. Walk safely. Avoid changing directions really quickly, right? Okay, let's talk about trips. A trip happens when we're moving along with enough momentum to be thrown off balance and we hit some type of an immovable object. Our bodies are going one direction, something's on the ground, and we trip over it. People get hurt really bad on trips. You can trip over just about anything that's out there. Anything from a hammer to extension cords, tools, carts, air hoses, welding cables. You can trip over anything that's there. So use the 5-second rule, would you guys? It's got nothing to do with the Cheeto, remember. The 5-second rule, stop for a second, take a look around the workplace, look behind you. Do you have all the tools you need? Are we ready to go? Okay. Remember, if you use the 5-second rule, You reduce the accident rate by 95%. That's a huge deal. I want everybody to go home safe tonight. Use the 5-second rule. It doesn't take very long to look around you. And that ensures that you're not going to be tripping over anything that might be underfoot, okay? Don't take shortcuts through the workplace. All that does is it just invites accidents. Try and stay in the aisles where you're supposed to, where they've been outlined. Keep the cords out of there. Don't have anything underfoot. Hey, and by the way, you know, if you see something out there, I know it's not your fault. It's everybody else that leaves junk and dirt and trash in the walkways. If you see something, would you take 30, 40 seconds, pick it up, move it, throw it in the trash, get it out of the way so you don't trip or the next guy doesn't trip. Okay, falls. That's the worst of all, right? Falls. Ladders and scaffolding, walking up high. You've got to learn to practice ladder safety. And also when you're on scaffolding too. Let's talk about ladders really quickly. You get on a ladder, 3 out of 4 things should be on the ladder. 2 feet, 2 hands, 3 out of the 4 should be on the ladder at all times. I know some guys who have switched when they're going up a ladder rather than grabbing rungs as they go, because some people, when they reached out to grab the rung, missed the rung. And that, you know, you miss it and then you have to grab it again real fast as you're falling backwards. They move their hands out to the sides of the ladder and slide their hands up the sides of the ladder, okay? Don't have a bunch of tools in your hands, you know, screwdrivers, whatever, hammers, whatever it is you're going to have in your hands. You can't climb a ladder when you got a bunch of stuff in your hands. So, those can go in pockets, they can go in a tool belt, they can go in a bucket that can be pulled up safely. If it's just a short distance, somebody can hand a tool to you if you need to use it, but don't have a lot of things in your hands as you're going up that ladder. Don't have anything in your hands. Put it someplace else. That way you're going to be a lot safer as you go up. You never exactly know what's going to happen. And what you think is going to be routine might not be, okay? So how do you tell if the ladder's out far enough from what it's leaning up against, let's say a wall? How do you know? Well, the best thing to do is put your feet right where the ladder hits the ground and reach your hands out like this. If you can touch the ladder, you've got it far enough out. In other words, it's supposed to be 1 foot out for every 4 feet in height. So on a 20-foot ladder, you'd have it out 5 feet from the wall, okay? But if you can put your feet at the base of the ladder and touch those rungs, you're at a good distance. Make sure that ladders are always inspected before you use them. Take a look at that ladder. Is that thing bent in any way? Are any of the rungs out of place? Are they loose? Are they hurt? Or are they leaning to one side? I don't want you to get hurt when you start walking up those rungs and all of a sudden one of them gives away. Don't use ladders that have any type of a problem associated with them. Set that ladder to the side and make sure you get one that's going to be safe. Okay, I got to get going. I'm going to run out of time here. So, maintain the work areas to prevent slips, trips, and falls. Keep walkways, aisles, and stairs free of tools. Clean up any leaks or spills. Keep cords and power cables and air hoses out of the walkways. Put trash in proper containers. Walk, don't run. Upstairs, through the area. Hold on to stair rails if you're going down. Hold on to ladders up and down. Don't jump off platforms. Would you not do that? I'm telling you, people who jump off platforms are just looking for an accident to happen. One of these days you'll jump off and you'll hit an object and your ankle's going to go off to the side. You're going to hurt your leg really bad. Focus on where you're going, okay? Pay attention to what you're doing once you take off. Wear good shoes. If you're tread is starting to wear out on the bottom of your shoes, you might think about setting a few dollars aside every month so you can have some good shoes to wear. Oh, hey, listen, if you're on the work site, don't walk around with your hands in your pockets. You ever seen anybody who slipped and they had their hands in their pockets? They just about tear their pockets right off their pants. You know, like this. Boom. Keep your hands out of your pockets when you're walking around. So you got your hands out here, to keep you from hitting the ground. Walk slowly on slippery surfaces. I guess I have to remind people of that because they fall down all the time, okay? Parking lots can be really dangerous. It's hard to get traction out there. All kinds of stuff out in parking lots, so be careful. If lighting is bad, bring it to the attention of somebody so you can see what you're doing in the workplace. Here's the most important thing you can do on slips, trips, and falls. Control your individual behavior. That's the toughest thing in the world to control. Self-control. Don't become distracted by random thoughts or doing multiple activities. Being in a hurry, walking too fast, or running increases the chance of slipping, tripping, and falling. Taking shortcuts, not watching out where you're going, using a cell phone, carrying materials which obstructs your vision, wearing sunglasses in low light areas, not using designated walkways and speed are common elements in many of the on-job injuries. Okay, guys, that's all I got for now. Be careful. Remember the 5-second rule, okay? Take a look around. It's got nothing to do with the Cheeto on the ground, right? Take a look around. Reduce the accident rate by 95%. Thanks. Talk to you next month. See you later.